chances, dreams and goals. Many mixed emotions in my heart and soul. For some I made a plan and did the best I can. If God wills, things can happen. After all, I'm just a man. Choices, chances, dreams and goals. Many mixed emotions in my heart and soul. For some I made a plan and did the best I can. If God wills, things can happen. After all, I'm just a man.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brothers and sisters, welcome back to another episode of Life Choices right here on Huda TV. Now, whether it's the choices we make in life or the choices we don't make, as a Muslim, what concerns us the most is where we end up. So that's why here on Life Choices, we try to give you every week, we try to bring you a different episode focusing on a topic of these choices, whether it be social development, time management, or setting goals and objectives. If it matters to you, inshallah, we're going to discuss it right here on this show. Usually we're joined with Brother Zakir. Unfortunately, he had to travel to visit his family in the US. But alhamdulillah, we have a brother from Canada, Brother Abdul Rahman, and he will be filling in for this episode and the next few episodes to come, inshallah. So please take this opportunity with me to welcome Brother Abdul Rahman. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you for having me on the show.
No, thank you for joining us. Of course, last week we brought you an episode on time management. And this week we're going to bring you something different on social intelligence, about being a people person. But before we do that, I just want to know if, Brother Adam, after last week's episode, did you take anything home with you? Did you learn anything that you implemented?
Yeah, from the time management, I have definitely implemented that a lot into my school attendance record, because in the beginning of the year I was sort of lacking in attendance and not taking it as seriously as I should have been, and now I don't miss any classes.
MashaAllah. And
any classes?
No classes.
Okay.
He's going to be a model for us now.
Yeah.
We're going to try and live up to Adam's time management skills.
Even if I'm not feeling well, I go and then I start feeling better.
MashaAllah, yeah. It's funny you mention that, because it always helps that when you are feeling sick, if you just stay bedridden all day, you don't get any better. But when you just try to move and be active, subhanAllah, it does work. So
that actually reminds me of I don't know if it's hadith, or I think it's hadith. If I'm wrong, you guys can correct me, but it was that sometimes we dislike something that is good for us, and we like something that is not good for us.
Yes, it's in the Quran.
Yeah.
In the Quran.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's also about, as long as you don't face any barriers in your life, so you have to know that you are in the wrong way, on the wrong path. Definitely, when you will try new things, when you will try to upgrade your skill, when you will try to make a new lifestyle, definitely it will be somehow difficult in the beginning. It will never be the same. It will never be easy. You have to make it trials, as you said. Although after a while, after I got the skill, or after I tried to implement time management, for example, after a while I'll feel some difficulties. I feel like I'm not coping like in the beginning. This is normal, because everything goes up. It has a time to come down. So we cannot be stable. We cannot be always performing in a very high performance. Everything has ups and downs.
I've heard something about if you do something for a certain period of time, it becomes a habit.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
We have a lot of studies about that. Some people said after 21 days, this is the most. And some other people said 40 days is the best. To have it as a real habit that you are assure that you can assure that you have it as a habit. But at the same time, although having it as a habit maybe will be parallel into a bad mood. For example, in the beginning I used to do this with a very high motivation. I'm very motivated to do so, but after a while I started to feel like, okay, I'm going, but it's heavy. I cannot perform the same way. Sometimes it happens to me in the trainings.
So in short, you mean the more you do it, the more you get used to it, but at the same time it might backfire at you?
Sometimes, especially in the beginning. For example, in my trainings, I teach people. But in the beginning, it was very difficult for me. This was 10 years ago. It was very difficult for me to stand 6 hours giving a training. 6 hours with no set. It's very difficult.
You got used to it.
Moving, but after a while, I get used to it. But we can say after 3 or 4 months, I started to feel again that I have some problems in my legs. I cannot bear it. So after a while, I started to what we can say, I started to challenge myself that this is my job and I have to do it in a perfect way. So I took some days.
So do you think we could call that laziness?
No, it's not laziness. It's not a must to be out of laziness, because laziness is one of the things, but not every time. It's not about laziness. Sometimes it's about the difficulty. Sometimes it's about and this is the most thing that link Islam with psychology here. It's about nafs, because your nafs don't like desires. It doesn't like to be driven by you. It always like to be the leader. So your nafs always want to lead. So when you for example, you put yourself in a situation that I will read on daily basis some verses of Quran. I will read a page of Quran every day. Okay. In the beginning, when you have just heard the Shaykh talking about this, or you were just watching this program, and you started to put this as a habit in your life, after a while you will find I'm not the same motivated person. It's very difficult to read a page every day. Let's make it half page. Maybe let it tomorrow. You start to get down. Okay? So what you need is to know that this is a challenge. This is your time to challenge yourself, to say, no, I will not fail. It's my nafs. It's my desires. It wants to take back the lead. And I will never let my desires control me. So this is your challenge as Muslim.
So starts with a decision.
So what if someone says, I'm not up for the challenge? Can someone even think about that?
Yeah, sometimes.
So what do you think what do you think you could do to not think about that?
I think they should defeat their negative thoughts.
But it's, I mean, why don't they want to do that? They've got to look at the end result. What's the purpose of doing something or not doing something? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If your objective is to read a page of Quran a day or whatever it may be, why are you doing it? You know, if there's no objective in mind, there's no goal. Yeah, there's no goal. You're not going to do it. You know. But obviously, looking forward to the reward. Getting closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the main objective, and this is why you want to do it.
Okay.
So someone who doesn't believe in Allah is not going to, obviously read Quran.
If I have time before you continue, I made a few connections to what you were saying. I think you were stressing a lot to have balance when starting anything new, and also like to have moderation in that. And I got some advice from my cousin when I first started becoming more serious in the deen, or the way of life that Allah wants me to live instead of living through my own desires, was that start slowly. And it's sort of like similar to what you're saying. I don't know if there's a hadith or something, but I think something about in this religion is to the religion should be something smooth, and a smooth process.
Yeah, because everything in the beginning is difficult. This is a must. Why? Because I don't have in my back head, in my mindset, I don't have an experience to measure on it. It's something new for me. So for you have the eye of the observer, and at the same time you have already your enemies, because you already have an enemies, as Al-Imam al-Shafi'i, when he said that he got 4 main enemies, Iblis, والدنيا ونفسي والهوى. Iblis, dunya, nafs, and hawa, desire. Right? Those are the main 4 enemies that I have in my life.
I always like the saying, my worst enemy is myself, and to conquer yourself is better than to win 100 battles.
Here, when he was talking about this, he doesn't mean yourself as yourself. He means your desire.
You're
right. This
not your soul, because there is a big mix that always happen here. Your soul is not your enemy. No, you have to love yourself to be able to love people, but you have to know that there is an enemy inside you that want to take the control, and this enemy is not you. It's not the real you, because the real you is the soul, and the soul is an amazing thing. The real soul, the real Muslim inside you, which is al-fitra, what we call it al-fitra, right?
Yeah.
It's the nature of you. It's very beautiful. It's always very beautiful. But you don't you don't walk behind it. You don't always do what your soul tells you. You always do what your desire tells you. And the problem here also, that psychologically, your back mind, it doesn't differ. Your subconscious cannot differ between right and wrong. And we said that before, I think. it cannot differentiate between right things and wrong things. It always differentiates between what you love and what you don't. It only works with emotion. For example, if I love or I feel happy if I smoked, while it's a sin, but your subconscious cannot differentiate, is it wrong or not, is it halal or haram. It always push you to it. Why? Because you feel comfort. You set to it.
Yeah, until you
that
get
I feel
home and you start coughing up the blood.
Exactly. When you start lose your
Yeah.
health,
Yeah.
you will start to feel like, I feel pain when I smoke.
But there's still something in your head that you know it's wrong, because if you know it's a sin, and you're doing it, obviously you're being overcome by your desires. But we can differentiate as people between right and wrong. That's why, you know, if I don't like someone, I don't just go and kill them. You know what I mean? 'Cause,
Yeah, this is what happens.
you might feel like that sometimes, but obviously this is wrong, so we don't do it for that reason.
Yeah, but it's about how you are going to put it inside your mind. If you started to link anything with happiness, you will do it, although if it was a sin or it was wrong generally. It was unacceptable. Just when you link it with happiness, you will find that you are going to it. Who said that the sins are good? Who said that the sins are a beautiful thing to do? Who said so? Sin, always when we met a lot of people, especially in, for example, in my cases, when I have a patient who has a psychological problem, most of them, they hate sin. They feel that sin destroyed his life. And when I talk to him frankly, and he start to get out his honesty, he start to look at me and tell me, I hate what I'm doing. And by the way, sometimes he's not a serious Muslim, he's not doing everything, you know. But he started to say, I hate what I'm doing.
So
I
we
want
could
to
say
change
it's
my life."
from the fitrah that he probably hates it.
That's
Exactly.
the usual talk
Uh,
about, or that's the usual thing what people say.
Yeah, it's all about the soul. And this is the fight that we are talking about inside. The fight between your soul and your desire.
Yeah.
The purity and the badness. Okay? So it's about that you have to put all what we said in the last episodes in your life, and you have to know, and that's why we are talking about this now, that you have to know everything we said is not going to be easily implemented every day. No, you will up till now you will face challenges. Up till now you will face problems. Up till I teach this, and up till now I have some problems in my time management, because we are in always development.
So this is why we need patience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We have to wait the results, we have to work on it, we have to focus, we have to understand the sequence, that I will face a barrier after a while, that having this every day will make some routine, so I have to keep balanced, as you were saying, Adam. I have to balance my life in everything. I have to do my work.
Well, I mean, this is, I think, the saying of the Prophet, peace be upon him.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. You have to balance your life. You cannot live only by obsessed by time management. Never be obsessed with anything. Some of the people, for example, I said this, I think, in the last week or maybe the week before, about he started to do the schedule by minute. I drank coffee for
Yeah.
7 minutes.
Yeah.
I went to the bathroom for 11 minutes. Yeah, he's counting. By the way, when
he
I
doesn't
started,
need the angels. He's writing his own deeds.
لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. Yeah, I know. So he is writing everything. After a while, I started. When I read this, I don't like to take it like this. I like to implement. So I said, let's try. Maybe it's a successful idea. I started to do this. The first thing, I hated myself so much on that time, because I got that I'm losing a lot of time. But at the second thing, I found that I took a lot of time to write down what I did. So I'm losing time in writing what I did. So I don't need this. It was only beneficial. That's why I want to say again, for people, you can do this only for one day.
Yeah, otherwise it becomes counterproductive.
Exactly. So only do it for one day to know where your time goes, where you lose your time, what you do with yourself. You have to judge yourself, or you have to revise everything you took here or you learned from here. What you did with your self-discipline up till now. Are you still keeping your discipline? You started to have discipline? What's your point of view about self-development? You still developing yourself? Seeking new courses, new things to know, reading more Quran, having a lot of lessons in Deen and in Dunya. You still doing this, or you only did it in the first episodes?
Definitely not enough.
Yeah,
That's the problem, I think, because a lot of us, even if it's just the Jummah khutbah or the other khutbah that we see during the week, we listen to it and we say, that's interesting. That's good.
MashaAllah.
But we don't implement a lot of it. So I think that's really important for us to do, is to try to implement when we learn something new or something that's interesting.
Yeah, and to recognize that it will take time, to recognize that I will face a lot of barriers, to recognize that I need to practice more, because skill always, all what we give here, or most of what we give here, is the skills. These skills increase by practicing. It has no more options. You cannot take skills by tablets.
There's no trick to it, yeah.
You have to practice.
Yeah.
So put this in mind and be always seeing this in front of you while you are doing everything. It will change your life. It will change your life. Especially that we always say, especially in business, because I find that we need this practical Muslim who has a very beautiful lifestyle. We don't want to see only shuyukh. No. We want to see doctors and the engineers and the philosophers, and we need to see everything.
Yes.
All the Muslims
The
who are
poets.
doing this, who are doing the right things, and who is the people who are correcting the new sciences, because we have corrupted sciences. We can read a lot of philosophers, a lot of
Arts.
new approaches and stuff, which is not appropriate.
I was reading something the other time about the types of, considering these topics about social intelligence, about the 7 types of intelligences people have. And I read that all of us might have a different intelligence that we fit in. It's not all just IQ and logic. Some of us might be
Linguistics.
I'm not sure if linguistics is one of it, but
Emotional. I think I know what you're talking about.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe Karim, you can maybe elaborate a bit more on that.
Actually, social intelligence is not that much new thing, but at the same time, it has been approved later, not earlier. Because in the beginning, people of psychology started to depend on what we call it in the old school, the one-score intelligence. The one-score intelligence is the IQ.
The IQ logic test, yeah.
So what I do, that I give you an IQ test, and according to this score, I can decide your intelligence, that you are intelligent by this degree or this. But after a while, they started to have another approaches. One of these new approaches, what Dr. Gardner in Harvard has started to have a new methodology about that, and he got a new theory. This theory that says that we have a multiple intelligence. We don't have a one intelligence, because he found that it is not fair. And when you look deeply in life, you cannot see that there is someone who is intelligent in everything.
No, that's right. And then otherwise, if everyone just had one type of intelligence, then everyone would just be doctors, for example, or mathematicians.
Exactly.
Whereas doctors and mathematicians, they might share one common intelligence. Whereas someone who's good at drawing and visuals, they might be the architects of the world. You know what I mean? So it's really important to know that even yourself, if you're not, if you failed an IQ test, don't worry.
have hope.
There's another 6 categories you might fall into. It might be good in one of those. But so that's really important to know. So not everyone's going to end up being a doctor or an engineer. So if your parents are putting that pressure on you, or even you as parents putting that pressure on your kids, just know that there might be something else that they're good at, and you just have to just to search more for it. I think Einstein was a high school dropout or something.
And the guy looks like a maniac. For real.
Yeah. But he, mashallah, he was one of the
I think you need to tell this to my dad, because I always tell him I have the creative intelligence, because I like to write poetry, but he wanted me to be a doctor since I was a kid.
Yeah, see, that's it. We've all got something we're good at. Inshallah, we're going to take a short break, and we'll be back with more right here on Life Choices. Don't go anywhere.
If I think I lost my ablution, but I'm not sure, do I have to make wudu again? Is it allowed for Muslims to visit the graveyard, or is that shirk? Am I allowed to say Jummah Mubarak to someone? Can I get to know a sister before marriage? I have so many questions, and I feel that I've just reached a dead end. If only I could find someone trustworthy to answer my questions. Someone who speaks based on proof from the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet.
Assalamu alaikum, welcome back to Life Choices. Today we're discussing social intelligence. Just before the break, we're talking about how not to lose hope in life. If you failed the doctor's exam, inshallah there is plenty of other things you can be. A teacher, an engineer. Don't give up. That's the main point we're trying to put across today. We're going to take a look at this video from Ismail Mink, who's a mufti from Zimbabwe. So please take a look and stay with us.
يا رب هل من توبة تمحو الخطايا والذنوب وتزيل هم القلب عنه.
We will try our best, because every single one of us, our aim is to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We definitely need to please Him, and we want to please Him, but we better do so quickly. And we know time is not on our side. We need to rush. No one knows when they're going to go. Firstly, do not become despondent. My beloved brothers and sisters, as a point of closure of this talk this evening, I'd like to encourage every one of us to build on what we have. Let's build on the goodness we have. Don't ever underestimate yourself. Don't for one moment think that, you know what, I am a bad egg who is completely written off and there is no hope for me. Because that is part of the plan of shaitan. Shaitan makes you think that there is no hope for me so that you don't get up on your feet again. And Allah says, قُلْ يَا عِبَادِيَ الَّذِينَ أَسْرَفُوا عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ لَا تَقْنَطُوا مِنْ رَحْمَةِ اللَّهِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَغْفِرُ الذُّنُوبَ جَمِيعًا إِنَّهُ هُوَ الْغَفُورُ الرَّحِيمُ. Say, O my worshippers, tell my worshippers, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, tell my worshippers who have transgressed against themselves, who have gone beyond the limits with themselves, never lose hope in my mercy, in the mercy of Allah. For Allah will forgive all your sins indeed. He is most forgiving, most merciful. We need to know this. The very next verse says, turn to Allah before it is too late. So on one hand He is telling you that I will forgive all your sins, but the other hand He is telling you, turn to me quickly before it is too late. You don't want to be caught on the wrong side.
It was a very interesting video, Abdurrahman. I like the way he said, Ismail Mink said, don't think you're going to be a bad egg, or something like that, which is, with what we're talking about, don't give up hope.
Let's say you flunked in high school. You think your life is all over. What do you think? For me, I don't think your life is over. There's a lot of choices in life. So let's say you're in high school, you flunked, but you could repeat. Either you could repeat it, or you could look for a job. It doesn't mean you have to finish high school. But that doesn't mean I'm telling you to drop out.
No, of course not. Yeah. But the point is if you find that you're doing a lot of things and you're not good at it, I think you just need to keep trying
exactly
until you find something that you excel in. and something that you can, benefit the ummah with, inshallah.
Inshallah.
But there's definitely something that you're going to be good at, a skill that you have that no one else has, regardless of what it may be, because for society to function, it needs people from all different levels, all different intelligences. You know what I mean? If we didn't have anyone working as a garbage cleaner, our streets are going to be very dirty. And subhanAllah, that we need to look at that when we're walking by someone who happens to be a garbage cleaner, you shouldn't be arrogant about it and think, look what he's got as a job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Alhamdulillah, he has this job because without him, these streets are going to be dirty.
Any job is good as long as it's halal.
As long as it's halal, of course. If you're doing a haram job,
Yeah, exactly.
this is not benefiting the ummah at all.
Obviously.
Also, I don't like to call him, especially in that job, because I got a lot of comments about, we cannot call him the garbage man. No.
Cleaner.
That he's the cleaner.
can call him-
We are the garbage people.
Exactly.
We throw it. Really, we throw this.
Yeah.
We throw this, and he is removing what we thrown. This is our problem.
Yeah.
If we were clean enough, this man will not do all this effort to
Exactly.
collect everything.
That's right. Like, here in Egypt, they have Zabbalin, right?
Yeah.
That's what they're called. And I think a lot of them live in an area,
Yeah.
garbage city they call it.
Yeah.
And all of them, they're just working garbage. But unfortunately, for them, they're getting very low income. They don't get paid by the government. It's just all, I think most of it's donations when they pick up garbage from people's houses. But without them, I don't think Egypt would function because no one's going to collect your garbage. Unfortunately, the government contracts apparently don't work that well. Or
Exactly. It's all about what you find is your best chance to get yourself. Because you don't work in this life without predetermination. When you work a job, God is giving you an opportunity. Although if you want to change it one day, this is another opportunity. But as long as you are working this job, you have to fight for it. You have to find yourself inside it, because it's an opportunity. This is the difference between people. There is a person who can find a challenge or an opportunity in every problem or in every barrier. And there is a person who can find a barrier in every opportunity. So it depends on you. You choose. That's why we call it life choices. Life choices is about you, not about life. You choose what you want. And this is the space that God gave it to us to decide our destiny. He told you, إِنَّا هَدَيْنَاهُ السَّبِيلَ إِمَّا شَاكِرًا وَإِمَّا كَفُورًا. So it's your choice. You want to thank God for what you got, so thank Him. If you don't want to thank Him, you will not go to the heaven, and you will have the same job. This is what you have to know. You will have the same job.
What do you think about a person that's avoiding the challenges and keeping it easy?
because he's afraid to fail, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. So what do you think about it, bro?
I think
Someone avoiding the challenge.
Yeah.
Let's say you want to get a promotion.
Yeah.
Or you could get a promotion if you work harder. But for you,
Yeah, for me, it's very easy to get a promotion.
No, for you. But for other people, it might be hard.
Yeah, I'm
so he might say, I don't need to take a promotion. I could just take it easy.
Yeah. It's
So
hard
what do
for
you think
everyone.
about people like that?
It's hard for everyone.
I mean, look, if you're talking about people like that, I mean, if they don't want to excel, then that's it. They don't want to excel. Someone's got to have some form of motivation.
Yeah.
I mean, those people aren't going to be watching the show right now because they don't want to change anything in their life.
No.
You know, they don't want to get that promotion.
Nope.
So what do you do? Tell someone who doesn't want this. You know what I mean?
This makes me think of a good saying, and that's that Allah loves the person most who benefits the people the most. And this is the person who has like a contribution to give to society, and everyone has a contribution. Even this cleaner, he's giving a major contribution to society, because when I'm walking and I see the trash, it's a different effect than if you walk and you see no trash. You know, you feel.
There were an American guy, he
better.
called neck or something like this. He has some medical case that he doesn't have hands, and he has strange kind of legs. His legs is different, and he's very short.
He drives with his legs.
He has only one leg, look like a duck leg. يعني he has a medical case. Allah يعافيه يعني. But at the end of the day, this guy tried to commit suicide when he was young, because he was different. He was totally different.
Oh.
He looks different. He looks odd. At the same time, everyone is looking at him, and he feels disgusting, and he looks strange. After a while, when he tried to commit suicide, he tried to commit this by throwing himself in the sea. So when he threw himself in the ocean, I think, or something like this, he learned, due to his strange legs, his legs looks like a fish leg. So when he just, this is what we call it, before you die, you try to make anything to come back. He tried to do this, so he swam. So he didn't die. So he was asking, after the people helped him and get him out, he started to ask himself, why I didn't die? Why I didn't surrender? What's this motive that kept me want to keep my life? So
Survival instinct.
Yeah, he started to look back to his life, and he found that his main problem that he lost hope. So he said, what can happen if loss comes out? No, I still have hope. There is something to make. That's why I'm alive. If I was supposed, I have to die, so God would let me.
That's why Allah says, don't let the believer despair of Allah's mercy.
Exactly. You don't have to lose faith in Allah's mercy. Why? Because this is the most sign. One of the shuyukh said before, one of the most sins on earth that you think that there is a sin that God cannot forgive it. Nothing. God can forgive everything as long as you're still alive.
Exception.
And
Exception.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, he started to find that there is something for him. That's why God kept him alive. So he started to revise. You know that now is one of the most motivational speakers in the world.
Wow.
One of the greatest motivational speakers in the world. He gives hope to everyone.
I know him. I know who you're talking about now. I've seen him.
Yeah, he's very famous. He's very famous. He talks with everyone. He goes to school. He travels everywhere in US. He talks with everyone about hope. And nobody can.
You have to be humble.
Yeah, nobody can talk with something like this. He looks very. You can imagine all the barriers in his life. He cannot drink water by himself. He cannot do anything for himself.
Oh. But he's still making an impact on people's lives.
Exactly.
That's mashallah.
He started to change people's life. This is his main target in life. He found that I have all the difficulties. Okay, I will tell people that I can live. And we can make something for each other. And this is one of the greatest model on our main subject today, which is social intelligence. He was very intelligent in dealing with everyone, because he started to use himself as a tool to deal with everyone.
Because he has a more difficult situation than anybody else.
Exactly.
Especially physically.
But look at that, all the barriers and obstacles he has in his life, and yet he's still able to make some difference. So where does that put us? When we, alhamdulillah, have our hands, have our legs, can use them fully, but yet still doing nothing to benefit this ummah. So it's a
one of the famous pictures that we always see, and I like it. Whenever I see it, I like it. A lot of people that they capture a picture in the metro station, in the underground. There is an electronic elevator, ladder, and there is a normal one. A lot of people, everyone went to the electronic one, while there is someone who has only one leg and he's moving with sticks. He took the normal one. Whenever I see this picture, I feel like I want to contemplate this picture. This is us. This is us. He has a real barrier.
Or you'll see the escalator on the way to the gym, and there's the options to take the normal stairs. And then going to the gym and the escalator.
Going to the gym on the escalator.
Sometimes we see the electronic ladder is something difficult to use. We need someone to carry us.
Actually, I have an uncle. He's like terrified of these escalators, because one time he's wearing the Galabeya, and it got stuck in the elevator. He said his friend got stuck. So ever since he saw his friend get stuck, he's like, I'm not gonna take the escalator. So he always takes the elevator or the stairs.
Yeah. So what we can say from this, that the barrier is not in the situation. The barrier is inside you. And that's what we can learn from all what we have seen in our religion. For example, the famous story about our Prophet Muhammad when a man showed him the stone on his stomach, that he's from hunger, he's very hungry. The Prophet, what did the Prophet do? He raised up his clothes, he found that he has 2 stones. Not only one, he has 2 stones out of hunger.
He showed him he's more hungry than the man.
Yeah. So you cannot talk. You cannot tell him, I'm hungry and you are not. No, we are both together in this. So this is one of the most things that people must start to look at when they read seerah, when they read about religion, when they read about skills. Why we do so and how we can do it. And this is the purpose of our program. For example, Adam, let's see of you. What's the most difficult situation you think that you can face about how people compare each other, how you can deal with different kind of peoples? You know, people have always different perspective.
You sort of put him on the spot there.
No, what do you mean?
Yeah.
I misunderstood. I don't.
People has always
comprehend.
different perspective. So when they talk to you, they always think that I'm the only person in problems. And this is one of the main problems that we have in the Arab countries and in the world, in the Muslim society. That they always see that I'm the only person who has all the problems on earth. While you didn't get that there is a lot of people who has more problems.
So we could tell him that between let's say 95 million in one country, you're the only one who has the most problems. You could say that to him?
Yeah.
It's but you could say it's impossible for you to be the only one who has problems. Everyone has a problem.
A lot of people think that they have the most problems on earth. So and I see this is the most thing that it is very difficult.
I think it's very ungrateful to even say that. You know what I mean? Like the people who, you know, in far worse situations, you know, living in poverty, you know, people who've, you know, subhanAllah, I think it's a very arrogant thing to say, actually.
That's why we're told to, you know, look at those who have less than us.
I mean, the fact that you got the ni'mah of being able to speak, and to even say that, I think you should be thankful for that. So,
I remember that's why one of the poets said, وعين الرضا عن كل عيب كليلة كما أن عين السخط تبدي المساوئ. When you look with the eye of acceptance, you will always be accepting. But when you look with the eye of that you don't accept what is happening and you are always, why I'm the only one who had this problem? Why God does this to me? This is the main problem. That you feel that you are the only one who has problems. That you are the only one who is facing barriers.
I mean, they come from a lack of iman, a lack of understanding in tawheed, and a lot of problems. So I think if someone who's, you know, not very knowledgeable in Islam, they're going to face these problems. That's why we should all, you know, try to look at, you know, renewing our knowledge.
And Allah, inshallah, will make the path easy.
Yeah, of course. Because you find this attitude, this mentality with people who are not Muslim. A lot of them who are not, you know, I mean, you find it with Muslims as well. But as in the people who don't have the knowledge of Islam, you know, who don't understand the ni'mah of Islam, who might have this attitude, I think.
Actually, people don't understand also, when we always talk about Islam, people always think that Islam is only praying, fasting. Islam is a lifestyle. And anybody misunderstands this, he has a misunderstanding for Islam. Because Islam is not a religion for mosques only. It's for your whole life.
No,
even I don't like the word religion, because, you know, it's much more than a religion.
No, Islam is it's a way of life.
It's the way Allah wants us to live our life.
Exactly right. And who knows the creation better than the Creator Himself? Brothers and sisters, please don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this short break.
The words of Allah, the Quran, sent to us by the Almighty, so we can hear and obey.
We cannot live our life without the Holy Quran. You must listen carefully to the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because your safety and my safety will be with this great verses of the Holy Quran. We are here in this world for a test, and this test, and you will have questions in the Day of Judgment.
Hear and obey with Sheikh Rifat Muhammad.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers. Welcome back from the short break to Life Choices. Before the break, we were just discussing how Islam, it's not just a religion, as Brother Adam pointed out. Islam is a way of life. So really, we need to start living our lives, the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as it, advised us to, told us to.
Yeah.
Brother Abdurrahman, sorry.
No, continue. I was telling you, I'm doing the way of life, just like Allah, how He accepts the way of life we will do.
Yeah, exactly. God accepts this life to us through giving us a real model of life inside the Quran and the Seerah of the Prophet.
Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, yeah.
So, all what you need is, when you look to Islam, look it to another perspective. And that's what we want to focus on in this episode as well. That you have to see Islam as a society, not only on the individual side. I know that in the first episode in this program we said that we are focusing on the individual because through individuals we can build societies. This is true. But we have also to see how the societies can reflect on each other's, how we can implement the society lifestyle on our society. And we have the option to do so. The main thing that we can imitate from what they did is how they deal with each other. When we look for the seerah, how people treat each other, you find that they are doctors of psychology. They are great doctors and great trainers of the world. Yep. They treat each other, we have a lot of theories and a lot of books talks about this. We have the science of social intelligence itself. But at the end of the day, when you look deeply, you find that what they did was better than what we are studying now. Because, for example, I remember a very amazing story. Actually, I don't know how this story is right or wrong. But one of my teachers told me this story when I was young, actually. But I still remember it because it was really wonderful one. That Al-Hasan wal-Hussein, they saw a man who is doing wudu in the wrong way.
Yes,
I don't know the truth of this story, but I want the meaning behind it. They saw a man who is doing wudu in a wrong way. So they want to tell him that this is wrong, but they know that he's an old man and he has white hair.
They wanted the hikmah to do
and
it.
they are kids. They are kids. So what they can do, they went and started to do wudu. One of them started to do wudu in front of the man in a wrong way as well. And his brother went to correct him. No, brother, don't do it like this. You have to do it like that. So the person looked at them and he found that the one who was doing wudu the same way he was doing it. So he felt that this correction was not for him, it was for me. He was amazed. Why? What would happen if we face the same situation here? You will find a lot of people, no, akhi, la, this is not right. This is not right. You are doing a very big mistake. The man started to feel like you are attacking me. Because we have to care about the psychology of everyone.
The emotions of people, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, because if someone's going to come and correct you, and I've seen it, and I've experienced it a lot of times where someone might advise you, and they do it in a very scornful way, and you just, sometimes you want to reject that advice. People want to reject that advice because of the way it was given.
Right.
Even though it might be right.
Yeah.
If you find that you're giving maybe your little brother or your little sister some advice, and you find that they reject it, it's because of the way you've approached them on it. Exactly. No one likes being told they're wrong. You're wrong. You're doing it wrong.
And when you give someone
I do
advice,
actually. I like being corrected.
You like
no, well,
yeah.
it's as a Muslim, we want to be. If we're doing something wrong, we want to be corrected, and that's a positive thing to have about you. But no one wants to be corrected in the wrong way,
in a harsh way.
In a harsh way, what are you doing? Are you an idiot? I've seen people say this.
there's sometimes
You take the good and
arrogant to take
leave the bad.
There's sometimes some people too stubborn to take any
But
advice.
with these people, you got to be especially careful in how you give the advice. If we look at the wisdom behind that story, whether it be true or not, I'm not sure. The way Hassan Hussein apparently done it. This was very done with a lot of wisdom, because at the end of the day, they never even spoke to the man. They just showed him how to do it. So now it's up to him whether he's going to take that or not.
They did the greatest social intelligence. Because first of all, the person cannot say, "You mean me?" No, we are not talking to you. We are talking to each other, and this is our right. But at the same time, when they did this, and I'm sure of this, I didn't attend the story actually, but I'm sure that when they did this to each other, they did it in a calm way. He didn't go to his brother and tell him, no, this is a big problem, how you do so. No, no, brother, this is, I think that the Prophet said that you have to do it like this. This is better. There is a lot of ways to let people listen to you. But what happens nowadays that you have, and we need to analyze this part, that you are happy with your ego. That it's about, and let us guys face this, it's about I am correcting you. So, you know the word I, you know this feeling of I am correcting you.
Yeah, ultimately I think we need to think about how we would want to be corrected. So if we were giving the correction, I mean.
Yeah.
So how would we want to be corrected, and do it in a way that, you know, treat others the way you want to be treated, essentially. This is the teaching of the Prophet, may he rest in peace. And also, love for others what you love for yourself. So do things in a way that you would love that to be done to you.
You made me remember a story. Once there were a guy in the old Muslim days, a guy who wanted to attend a lesson in the masjid. So he went to the masjid and he found two circles with two different shuyukh. Everyone, you know, everyone is teaching part. So he felt confused. I have to attend which one? So he went to his father, and his father was a very wise person. He told him, Dad, there's two circles and I don't know which one to attend. So he took him to the masjid and he told him, I will tell you which one. So he went to the first circle and he looked at the sheikh and he said, I don't believe in what you are saying. I think that you have a lot of mistakes in what you are saying. Life is not like this. So this person who was teaching people started to look at him and he said, okay, if you don't want to listen, you can go. We are not waiting you. If you don't want to listen to me, you can go. This is easier.
I have a lot of professors like that in the college.
Yes.
Take it or leave it.
So they don't put up with any
you don't want to listen. So he took the kid and he said, he went to the next circle. He said, he looked at the sheikh and he said the same thing. I don't believe in what you are saying. You are saying a very wrong stuff. I don't believe in what you are saying. So the sheikh looked at him calmly and he said, maybe I say some stuff in a wrong way and it's my mistakes. But maybe I will say some right things that would be beneficial to you. So can we share this together?
Yeah.
So he looked for his kid and he said, this is the circle that you deserve to attend. So a lot of people who lack the social intelligence is attacking each other due to the ego inside everyone. I see that I am right and everything happened is wrong. We have the next story. I said this story before also, a story of Hassan al-Basri, when someone called him, hey, arrogant, in front of people. I said this story before.
And then someone looked.
He said, how did you know my name? That people cannot know it. So he pushed him to respect him. He pushed him to calm down. Yeah, it's all about how you want to perceive it. And this is the main core of social intelligence. It's the social intelligence, if you want to define it in a definition, what we can say, it's the ability to go along with people through conversations and situations. It's the ability to context.
Yeah, that reminds me of, talking about arrogance, it reminds me of a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, that whoever has an atom weight of arrogance, you know, will not enter Jannah. So it's
ذرة من الكبر. كبر.
Yeah.
لم يدخل من كان معه مثقال ذرة من الكبر لم يدخل الجنة.
Yeah, so we have to try as Muslims to rid ourselves of that.
Yes.
You know.
You have to start with yourself and to start to know that there is a very big picture that maybe we would understand part of it. Maybe I see what you cannot see. Maybe you see what I cannot see. Maybe both of us seeing the same thing in different style. Maybe I see the picture in different perspective. So that's why from the things that's very linked to what we are saying is the intelligence itself. Some people think that there is something called stupidity. This person is stupid. Some of the teachers do a very big mistake when they look for our kids and they say, are you stupid?
Yeah, the grading has become degrading.
Yes.
If you fail, then you're considered not so smart. Whereas maybe some people need different kind of attention or...
Well, it's like we said, I mean, you might not be smart in something, say, school. You might not be smart, you might not be smart in maths or in writing essays and stuff like that, but, you know, maybe your son is excelling in something else.
What I'm saying is, like, perspective is reality. And if you tell a kid, like, you're stupid, and then he believes that, then maybe that's going to make him worse in his class. Whereas if you would try to motivate him, like you can improve in this,
Yeah,
maybe he'll start to improve.
That's just classic bullying.
I'm just saying that the words you say to people can cut, you know, as sharp as a knife, or it can really motivate someone to change their life or to feel confidence in themselves and maybe to achieve a goal.
You destroyed, we can say it in another word, you destroyed a kid's life because of your lack of social intelligence.
And there's a lot of people like that right now.
Yeah, a lot, right? Everywhere. I look everywhere around, I found everyone is criticizing everyone. Criticism is one of the problems that we face in life, and it's anti to the social intelligence.
No, but we need criticism. If
constructive criticism.
With constructive criticism. I mean, if no one was correcting people's mistakes, then
with a good intention,
we're all going to be on the wrongness. You know what I mean?
Look, I always differentiate between this in a simple wisdom word. And it's my wisdom word, by the way. I said
really,
yeah,
original.
Yeah, in my book. Yeah, I wrote that people must understand that we cannot get people to the target, but I can light up the room for you and let you see what you want to see. This is the distance that we must keep with people. I must light up the room, show you the truth, but I cannot push you for the truth.
Yeah, you can lead the horse to the water, but you can't make the horse drink.
Yeah, exactly. It's about sales. When we talk about sales in business, for example, there were an old approach that when they came with the new schools of sales, they removed it. This rule used to say, you have to push and push and push and push until you feel resistance. When you feel resistance, push one more. you just keep pushing.
I'm sorry, but the pushy salesman is not my favorite.
It's very bad. It's very bad method. It faced a lot of disaster in life. Started people to ignore it. So what we need to do is that you have to understand that you don't have to push people. You have to criticize, but by a coaching way. A big difference between criticizing you and coaching you, telling you the truth, telling you lighting up the room, and giving you the availability to do what you want.
And this is, you know, a lot of I think that the Prophet, you know, may he rest in peace, wanted us to feel the responsibility for ourselves, so he would, you know, guide to a straight path. It was up to us to follow that path, and makes me think of a beautiful saying, and that is that a single lit candle can light 1,000 candles without losing its flame.
Yes.
And this shows like one happy person can spread this happiness around, and it won't decrease his happiness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It increase. It's totally the opposite.
Yeah.
When you spread happiness between people, you increase happiness for yourself and for people. That's why when we look, and this is by psychology, and when you look for the Prophet, when he said, "Afshu salama baynakum," spread the peace between you. Why? Because when you spread something, it increases by its own. For you and for people.
Even if you look at sadaqah or zakat.
إن البسمة في وجه أخيك صدقة. The smile on your brother's face is a sadaqah.
And even mal, giving sadaqah or giving zakat, it's not decreasing anything from your wealth. In fact, it's actually increasing.
And if we guide someone, if we guide someone, sorry for interrupting you.
No, continue.
Like if we guide someone to a straight path, or if we teach them some knowledge and they go and use this knowledge, we get the reward for that they did, and they still keep their full reward
without decreasing from the reward. Subhanallah. So a lot of interesting things we've covered in today's episode. Inshallah, brothers and sisters, you can benefit from this. Inshallah, that's all we have time for today. So until next time, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Choices, chances, dreams and goals, many mixed emotions in my heart and soul. For some I made a plan and did the best I can. If God wills, things can happen. After all, I'm just a man. Choices, chances, dreams and goals, many mixed emotions in my heart and soul. For some I made a plan and did the best I can. If God wills, things can happen. After all, I'm just a man.